All right, let's get right into it. Think about how you browse the web. You're on your laptop, then your phone, then maybe your tablet, right? How a website looks and feels across all those screens? Well, that's everything. Today, we're going to break down responsive web design, the one skill you absolutely need to create websites that just work, no matter where you see them.
But before we get to the solution, let's talk about the problem. It's a frustration I know you've felt, and it all starts with a very simple, very common situation. Of course you have. We all have. You click a link on your phone, and suddenly, it's a disaster. You're trying to read text that's impossibly tiny. You're pinching and zooming all over the place, and trying to tap a link is a total guessing game. It's just a fundamentally broken experience. And here it is, side by side. On the left, you've got that digital chaos we were just talking about, all that pinching and zooming. But on the right, that's the goal. A clean, seamless experience where the website just works. The layout makes sense, you can actually read the words, and getting around is a breeze. That's what we're aiming for. So how do we get from the mess on the left to the magic on the right? Well, the hero of our story is an approach called responsive web design. The whole idea here is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of building a whole separate website for phones and another for tablets and another for desktops, you just build one single smart website that can look at the screen it's on and completely rearrange itself to give you the best possible version.
Now, to make all this happen, developers have what I like to call a magic toolkit. It's really built on two main pillars. Let's break them down.
First up, we have media queries. Okay, think of a media query as a website's superpower. It lets the website literally ask your device, hey, how big is your screen? And depending on the answer, it can completely change its look, kind of like a chameleon changing its colors to fit in. And this is what that superpower looks like in the code. It's really just a simple if this, then that for your design. So the app media screen part just tells the browser, hey, these rules are for screens. Then the bit in the parentheses, max width 768px, that's the question. It's asking, is the screen width 768 pixels or smaller? If the answer is yes, boom, all the special CSS rules inside those curly brackets kick in. That's the magic right there. So why bother? Well, the benefits are massive. You're not building and maintaining multiple websites anymore, which saves a ton of time. Your site actually gets faster because it only loads the styles it needs for that specific screen. And, probably most important, you get a consistent, reliable brand experience no matter how someone is viewing your site. Okay, the second tool in the kit is something called relative units. Now, you could use fixed units like pixels to build your site, but that's like having a baking recipe that says bake for 30 minutes at 400 degrees, which only works for one specific oven. Relative units are more like a ratio, 2 parts flour to 1 part sugar, that scales up or down perfectly for any size you need. They give our designs that true flexibility. Let's quickly go through the most common types. You've got percentages, which are based on the parent element size, perfect for making fluid columns in your layout. Then there's M and Rem, which are tied to font size. These are fantastic for making sure your text and all the spacing around it scales up and down in a really predictable, consistent way. And finally, you have viewport units, VW and VH, which are tied to the screen size itself, making them perfect for things like full-screen background photos.
Okay, so we've got the what. Now let's talk about the how. Here's a practical, step-by-step blueprint to get it done.
First things first, build your foundation with a fluid grid, using percentages. Then, figure out your key breakpoints. You know, the points where the layout needs to shift for phones, tablets, and desktops, and use your media queries there. Next, make sure your images and other media are flexible so they don't break everything. Then, use relative units for your text, so it's always easy to read. And finally, and this is a big one, test, test, and test again on every device you can get your hands on.
You know, I really want to pause on this one because it's such a common problem. We've all seen a website on our phone where a giant image is way too wide, forcing you to scroll sideways and breaking the entire design. Well, the fix is this one beautiful, elegant line of code. Max width 100% is just telling the image, hey, you can be your normal size, but you are never allowed to be wider than the container you're sitting in. It's so simple, but it prevents so many headaches. It's an absolute game changer. So we've got our blueprint. Now let's wrap this up with a few pro tips to really take your responsive designs to the next level. The single most important best practice today is using a mobile-first approach. And look, this isn't just about screen size. It's a total shift in thinking. Instead of building a big, complicated desktop site and then trying to strip things away to make it work on a phone, you do the complete opposite. You start with the tiny screen. This forces you to focus only on what is absolutely essential, which gives you a super fast, lean foundation that you can then build upon for bigger screens. The result is better content and faster sites for everyone.
And a few other quick tips to keep in mind. Always prioritize your content so the most important stuff is easy to find. Keep performance in mind, especially by optimizing your images, because nobody on a slow mobile connection wants to wait for a giant photo to load. And please always design for accessibility from the very beginning. Make your site usable for everyone.
At the end of the day, it really all comes down to this. When you combine the power of media queries to adapt with the flexibility of relative units to scale, you're not just building a website for the phones and laptops of today. You're actually future-proofing your work for the devices of tomorrow. And you're making sure that every single person has a great experience.
And that kind of leaves us with a final question to chew on. We figured out how to make our websites fit on literally any screen. That's amazing. But what's the next frontier? What comes after this to make the web even more universal and even more accessible for everyone, everywhere? It's definitely something to think about.